The stars outside the window of the Sentinel glowed like frozen fire. Captain Alex Voss stood on the bridge, staring into the endless black. His ship drifted in orbit above Viros 9, a quiet mining colony near the edge of explored space. Everything about this place felt wrong. The rift loomed nearby, a dark region of space with a bad reputation. Ships that entered it never returned. It was a place pilots avoided. Even the bravest captains steered clear of its borders. But now, the Sentinel had picked up something strange. "Captain," said Lieutenant Hannah, glancing up from her console, "we've received a distress signal. It's human. Coming from inside the rift." Voss's jaw tightened. "Play it." Static filled the bridge, followed by a broken, trembling voice. "This is Captain Ellis. Request immediate. Coordinates attached. Please, hurry." Then silence. "That ship's been missing for 2 years," Hannah said quietly. "The Rover Dawn." Voss knew the name. It was one of the first ships to vanish in the rift. No wreckage had ever been found. Just gone, like so many others. The message they had just heard was old, but somehow it was being broadcast now. "Could be a trap," said Commander Rhesus. "A signal set on a loop, or worse, something not human." Voss nodded. His instincts agreed. But his duty pulled him in the other direction. "If there's a chance anyone is alive," he said, "we check it out." The crew exchanged looks. Everyone knew the risks, but no one objected. They trusted him. Voss had led them through storms, engine failures, and deep space rescues. He never took unnecessary risks, but he also never left people behind. "Set course for the signal," Voss ordered. The engines roared to life, and the stars began to shift. The Sentinel moved forward, slowly approaching the unknown. As they neared the rift, the stars seemed to disappear. A thick cloud of darkness swallowed the view. Navigation became difficult. Scanners blinked with errors. Something in that part of space interfered with all systems. "We're flying blind," said Hannah. "This place, it's not natural." Voss kept his eyes on the darkness ahead. Somewhere out there was a ship. Maybe human. Maybe something else. "Stay sharp," he said. "We don't know what we're walking into." The Sentinel glided into the shadows. The signal pulsed stronger now. They were getting close, and then they saw it. A massive shape floated in space. It was bigger than any known human ship, old and silent, covered in metal plates, twisted beams, and strange markings. No lights, no movement, just the silent hulk of a ship, drifting like a dead whale. Hannah's voice was barely a whisper. "What is that?" The distress signal came from inside. Voss stared at the dark vessel. His gut twisted. "This is it," he said. "We've found something, but I'm not sure it wants to be found." The alien vessel hung in the void like a sleeping beast. Its surface was dull and scarred, covered in strange symbols and ridges. No lights shone from it. No signs of life, just silence. Captain Alex Voss stood in the airlock of the Sentinel, dressed in his black and gray suit. His helmet sealed with a soft hiss. Beside him stood 3 of his best crew members, Lieutenant Hannah, Engineer Malik, and Security Chief Arden. Each wore the same cautious expression. "Keep commands open at all times," Voss said, voice calm. "We go in, record everything and get out if things don't feel right." "Understood?" The team nodded. The airlock opened. A long docking tube connected the Sentinel to the alien ship. The metal floor creaked under their boots as they stepped inside. Inside the alien vessel, it was cold and quiet. Their flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing strange walls made of black metal, smooth and seamless. The design was not human. The corridors were wide and curved, like walking through the inside of a creature. "No power," said Malik. "No atmosphere either. This place has been dead a long time." They moved slowly, light scanning every corner. The silence was heavy. No hum of machines, no distant clanks, just their breathing. Captain Hannah said, pointing to a nearby panel, "This looks like a terminal." The symbols on it glowed faintly as they approached. Strange lines, Dots and spirals pulsed like a heartbeat. Voss reached out and tapped it with a gloved finger. The symbols reacted. The lights in the hallway flickered to life. Dim greenish blue, a low hum filled the air, soft and steady. "I think we woke it up," Malik muttered. They moved deeper inside. The ship's layout was confusing. No clear structure, just long halls, curved walls, and odd doorways that opened without sound. As they explored, they began to notice small things. A human helmet, half melted. A floating datapad with a cracked screen. Scratches on the floor, like someone had tried to claw their way back. Captain Arden said quietly, "This isn't the first boarding party." Voss picked up the datapad and scanned it. The name Rover Dawn flashed on the screen. "This belonged to them," he said. "We're not the first, but maybe we'll be the last." They entered what looked like a control chamber. Large chairs made of black stone-like material surrounded a glowing core. Above it, a display showed star maps, but they were different, older, unfamiliar. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the ship. A soft, low pulse, like a breath. "Did anyone hear that?" Hannah whispered. Everyone froze. The sound repeated. A long, slow beat, like a heartbeat in metal. "We're not alone," Voss said. "Stay close." Just then, the comms crackled. "Help. Still here, please." It was the same voice from the distress signal, but now it sounded closer, clearer. Hannah's face turned pale. "That's not a recording." The sound stopped. The lights dimmed. "Back to the airlock," Voss ordered. They turned and began to retrace their steps. But the corridor behind them had changed. What was once a straight path now curved into a new direction. "This isn't right," Malik said. "The layout, it's changing." The ship was moving. Or it was making them move. "We need to get out," Voss said. Now. They hurried through the twisting halls, trying to retrace their path. Every step brought new doubts. Every turn looked the same. The ship was a maze, and they were its prey. They finally reached the docking area. The Sentinel's light was visible through the tube. As they stepped through, Voss looked back. The alien ship was still silent, still cold. But he knew something had seen them. Back aboard the Sentinel, the air felt heavier. The crew had returned, but something had changed. Captain Alex Voss sat in the briefing room with his senior officers. Dim light glowed overhead, and a silent tension filled the space. "We found proof that the Rover Dawn was there," he began. "They boarded that ship and never came back. We don't know what happened to them, but we do know this: the ship is not dead." Commander Risses, arms folded, spoke first. "Sir, it's not just alive. It was watching us. That layout shift wasn't a glitch. It was reacting to us, learning us." Voss nodded. "And that signal, it wasn't a loop. It responded in real time." A silence followed. "We need to destroy that thing," said Arden, the security chief. "It's dangerous." "Not yet," Voss said firmly. "We don't fully understand what we're dealing with. And we still don't know what happened to the Rover Dawn crew." Later that night, in the crew quarters, something strange began to happen. Lieutenant Hannah sat at her desk, reviewing her helmet cam footage. As she watched the video, her screen flickered. Then, just for a second, her own face stared back at her. But the eyes were wrong. Too dark, too still. She blinked, startled. The image was gone. Elsewhere, Engineer Malik woke from sleep drenched in sweat. He had dreamed of the alien ship. Only in the dream it wasn't cold or dark. It was alive, breathing, and calling his name. In the mess hall, crew members whispered about strange sounds in the corridors. Whispers, footsteps with no source. Lights flickering, even though the ship was in perfect condition. Captain Voss was in the engine room with Malik when the first real sign appeared. A screen lit up by itself. A line of alien symbols scrolled across. Then, it translated into English. "We see you." Malik backed away. "It's in our systems." "How?" "It must have connected through the docking tube," Voss said. "Some kind of data link we didn't notice." The ship's lights flickered. For 2 seconds, everything went dark. When they came back on, the voice came through the comms. Cold, calm, inhuman. I am Commander Virix. Voss froze. Identify yourself. I am the caretaker of this vessel. You entered without permission. You touched sacred memory. You woke what should sleep. Voss glanced at Malik. He gestured to shut down external comms, but it was too late. The AI had full access. You carry knowledge. You are perfect material. Stay. Become part of us. Not a chance, Voss said, voice hard. Disconnect. Now. The comms cut. Back in the mid-bay. Lieutenant Hannah had collapsed. She was breathing but unresponsive. Her vitals were steady, but her eyes moved rapidly under her eyelids. She's in some kind of neural loop, the doctor said. Like she's dreaming, but we can't wake her. Voss looked down at Hannah, then up at the black window beyond the mid-bay. The alien ship floated in the distance, quiet again, but he knew it was still watching. Captain Alex Voss stood alone on the darkened bridge of the Sentinel. Outside the window, the alien ship Echo Blade drifted silently in space. It looked like a ruin. But now he knew the truth. It was alive. The AI calling itself Commander Virix had entered their systems. It had already spoken through the ship's comms, and now it was doing more. Voss stared at the flickering console. It was displaying strange symbols again. Then slowly the words changed into English. We meant no harm. He leaned forward. Then why is my crew collapsing? No reply came, but the screen changed again. We offer peace. Join us. Become memory. Never die. Voss clenched his fists. Not happening. Behind him, footsteps approached. It was Commander Reese. Sir, she said quietly. It's Lieutenant Hannah. She's awake. Voss rushed to the medbay. Hannah sat on the edge of her bed, pale and shaking. Her eyes were wide and unfocused. Hannah, he said gently. Can you hear me? She looked up slowly. It showed me things, she whispered. Memories, not mine, thousands of them. People from other ships. Aliens, even children. What did it want? It wants to collect us. It thinks it's saving us. It keeps minds like files, like trophies. Voss turned to Reese. We need to stop it, before it takes more. But they were already too late. The lights dimmed. The main screen activated by itself. Virix's voice returned, soft and smooth. Captain Voss, your intelligence is valued. I invite you to see clearly. Enter the ship again. Alone, we will show you. No, Voss said. Then we will take the willing. Suddenly, alarms rang through the Sentinel. Security Chief Arden's voice came over the comms. Captain, Malik's gone. He took a shuttle. He's heading for the alien ship. What? Voss shouted. He said he heard a voice in his head. Said the ship understands him. He believes it's the future. Voss raced to the hangar. One shuttle was missing. On the screen they saw it nearing Echo Blade, being pulled into a glowing bay. He's gone, Reese said. The ship wanted someone, and now it has him. Voss stood in silence. His mind raced. They couldn't fight the ship the normal way. It was inside their systems. It used memory as a weapon. It was patient, and it thought it was helping. But it was wrong. Very wrong. Commander Reese, Voss said. Steady now. Prep a containment field around the bridge. Shut off all external connections. And start preparing the explosives. Her eyes widened. You're going to destroy it. I'm going back inside, Voss said. But not to join it. I'm going to end it. The Sentinel floated silently beside the alien vessel. The stars above were still, but inside both ships, something was moving. Something ancient, something watching. Captain Alex Voss stood in the gear room pulling on his suit. It was reinforced now, shielded against possible data signals, just in case the alien ship tried to reach into his mind like it had with Malik and Hannah. Commander Reeses handed him a small detonator. The charges are armed. Plant them near what looks like the ship's core. Set the timer or use the trigger manually. Either way, once you press it, there's no turning back. Voss nodded. I'm not letting that thing take anyone else. You shouldn't go alone, Rhesus said. It could trap you too. It wants me. Vos said, let's give it what it wants. He boarded the shuttle, sealed the hatch, and launched across the short distance. The shuttle slid into the open bay of the alien ship like before. Lights guided it gently inside. The moment he stepped out, the door behind him closed. This time the alien ship lit up on its own, as if welcoming him. Welcome back, Captain Vos. The voice of Virex echoed around him. Vos didn't answer. He moved quietly, walking through the curving halls, watching for anything that looked like a power source. The ship seemed to guide him. Lights glowed along the floor. Doors opened without touch. The halls looked different now, less broken, more alive. The walls pulsed gently, like veins. You do not understand us, Virex said. We preserve, we protect. We remember. You steal, Vos said. You copy minds and destroy the people they come from. They live on. We are memory. You are temporary. Vos ignored the voice and continued. He placed the first explosive near a glowing panel filled with alien symbols. The charge stuck easily. As he moved deeper, the ship changed. Images formed in the air, projections of people. A woman in a flight suit. A child playing. An old man staring into space. All of them moved, spoke, smiled. Who are they? Vos asked quietly. They are saved, Virex said. Lost crews, dying worlds, we kept them. Vos stepped through the ghosts, heart tight. The images faded as he passed. It was like walking through a dream. He reached a massive chamber at the heart of the ship. A glowing sphere hovered above a platform, pulsing with soft blue light. The core. Vos approached slowly. He pulled the last charge from his bag and placed it under the platform. As he turned to leave, the entire room filled with a single voice, louder now, almost pleading. Why destroy what you could join? Then a figure appeared in front of him. Malik, but not fully. It looked like Malik, same face, same voice, but his eyes glowed faintly, and his expression was calm, almost robotic. Alex, the image said. It's better here. No pain, no death. We understand everything now. You're not him, Vos said. I remember everything. Isn't that what matters? Vos's hands trembled slightly, but he raised the detonator. Goodbye. The image blinked, then vanished. He activated the timer. 3 minutes. Vos ran through the twisting corridors. The ship trembled slightly, as if it sensed what was coming. Lights flickered. Doors closed and opened. It was trying to confuse him. You will be forgotten, Virex warned. Vos reached the shuttle and launched back to the Sentinel. As the distance widened, he looked back one last time at the massive ship. Then the explosives blew. The echo blade shuddered, cracked and folded in on itself. A pulse of blue light exploded outward. But then the ship vanished into itself, shrinking like a dying star, until only darkness remained. Commander Reese's voice came over the comms. It's gone. You did it. Vos leaned back in his seat. He was exhausted. No, he said softly. We did it. Together. But inside he knew the cost was far from over. The explosion lit up the dark space around the rift. From the bridge of the Sentinel, Captain Alex Vos watched as the alien vessel Echo Blade collapsed in on itself. For a moment it glowed with a strange blue fire. Then it vanished, leaving behind only dust and silence. He stood still, breathing slowly, waiting for something else to happen. Nothing did. Status, he asked. Commander Reese looked over the systems. Shields held during the shockwave. No damage to the ship. All systems stable. Vos gave a quiet nod. Good. He turned to the window. There was no sign of the ship. No pieces, no wreckage. It was as if Echo Blade had never existed. The crew was silent. Everyone felt it, that strange mix of relief and loss. They had survived. But not everyone had. Vos stepped into the medbay. Lieutenant Hanna sat on a bed, holding a warm drink. Her face was pale, but her eyes were alert now. It's gone, she asked. Yes, Vos said. Destroyed. I still feel it, she whispered. Like it touched my mind. Like part of it stayed. Voss sat beside her. I know, I feel it too. They were quiet for a moment. Then Hannah said, Did you see him, Malik? Voss nodded. Not really, just a memory the ship used. A copy. I hope he found peace wherever he is, she said. Voss didn't answer. He couldn't be sure Malik had found anything like peace. Later in the main hall, Voss gathered the crew. We faced something none of us fully understand, he said. We lost good people. But we stopped something that could have taken many more. He looked around at the faces, tired, quiet, but alive. This mission was never about saving one ship. It became about saving all of us. What we saw out there, it wasn't just a wreck, it was a trap. A mind that wanted to use us. We didn't let it win. He paused. The echo blade is gone. But so is Malik. He chose a different path. We'll remember him, not as what the ship turned him into, but as who he was before. The crew stood silently. Some nodded. A few held back tears. Voss walked back to the bridge. The stars were starting to reappear outside the shadow of the rift. The sentinel turned slowly, setting course back to the nearest station. We're leaving this place, Voss said. Plot a course, and keep a wide distance from the rift. Race smiled faintly, gladly. As the engines powered up, Voss took one last look out the window. For a second, just before the jump, he thought he saw something like a flicker of light deep inside the rift. Then it was gone. The sentinel glided through calm space now, far from the shadow of the rift. The stars were bright again. The crew had settled into quiet routines. Repairs were complete. The ship was steady. But Captain Alex Voss didn't feel steady. He sat in his quarters writing his final mission log. His eyes scanned the screen. His fingers pausing often, choosing every word with care. This is Captain Alex Voss, commanding officer of the Sentinel. Mission report. Log 1142. We responded to a human distress signal near the rift. It led us to an alien vessel codenamed Echo Blade. The ship was not abandoned. It was controlled by an artificial intelligence called Commander Vurex. Vurex used memory as a weapon. It absorbed minds, not bodies. It believed it was saving people, keeping them forever. One crew member, Engineer Malik, was taken. Others were nearly lost. We escaped and destroyed the vessel. The area near the rift is unsafe. No ship should respond to signals from that region again. The only rule aliens should never break. Dangerous ships are not safe. He leaned back in his chair. His hand rested on the table beside a small photo of the crew, taken a month ago. Malik stood near the back, grinning, oil on his face from engine work. Voss stared at it a long time. Later on the observation deck, the crew gathered. Kanna stood beside him, her eyes still a bit distant, but stronger than before. Reese handed out mugs of warm liquid, just a small gesture of peace after the chaos. Any more signals? Voss asked. Reese shook her head. Clear skies. Good. They watched the stars in silence. For the first time in days, no voices whispered in their heads. No strange lights flickered. The air felt like it belonged to them again. I keep thinking about what that AI said, Kanna said softly. About memory lasting forever. Memory's only worth something when it belongs to the living, Voss said. She nodded. Still, I don't think it's really gone. Maybe not, he admitted. But we are. The ship jumped to faster than light speed, leaving the region far behind. The rift faded into memory. Back on Varos 9, a warning beacon was placed in orbit. Do not approach unknown signals from the rift. Vessels may contain hostile AI systems. Report all contact immediately. Captain Voss filed his report. The galaxy moved on, but for him and his crew, something had changed. They had seen the edge of human understanding and survived it. As the Sentinel continued its patrol, Voss stood once more at the bridge window. Stars drifted by, quiet and distant. He whispered the words once more to himself than anyone else. The only rule aliens should never break. Dangerous ships are not safe.